In this video, we're going to take a look at Bo Nix and just some of his best plays from this past year and how they can translate to the next level and give him a grade and see where we think he's going to be drafted. And he was a heck of a player for Oregon, great competitor, but we're going to dive right in, see some of the better plays from Bo Nix from this past year that I think can translate to the next level. First thing we're going to take a look at is just accuracy, which I think is probably the main thing that sets NFL quarterbacks apart right here. Trip set, they're showing pressure and they're dropping out. Concept over here where you're running ends and they're working back out, you got a corner, and it may looks like a bang 8 over here. He checks swings to the left, and when you see that one high look right here, Bo Nix, he knows he's going to bang 8 to the back side into that window. And right here, the thing that's really impressive about this is you're getting this twist, you're getting a guy into his face, and he's throwing this bang 8 with great accuracy with a free rusher coming right at him. And right there, good pace on the football, puts him to a tight window. You see how tight this coverage is. So right there, really accurate on a bang 8 intermediate throw there. That pushes the ball about 16, 17 yards down the field. Great ball right there with a guy right in his face on that bang 8. Here's a look right here in Pac-12 championship game. So somewhat of a high-pressure situation on 3rd and 9 starting the second half. What Washington's playing right here is just two man. As you see, you got a too high look. This linebacker's manned up right here, and he knows that's the matchup he wants to go to. Everybody else is sitting here shaking. I think it's slot fade down here. And this back runs an out and an up. And, of course, 42 right here is the guy that they want to take advantage of. You got a post here. Doesn't like that pretty tight coverage. And he sees this window right here. And you know you got to beat this safety that's playing over the top. So right here, the accuracy and the arm strength. If you're looking at his feet, he's not just driving through this. So right here, again, he's just using rotation, flipping his hips kind of off his back foot, but still able to put really good pace to the football right in the window, beating the safety with some pace, and then also the accuracy over the top to beat that linebacker. Another accurate throw right here for Bo Nix on another intermediate throw right on the sideline in the hole shot on a 3rd and 9. Here's another really impressive play. You got your bunch over here. They're faking like they're going truck on this, and they've got a comeback. These guys working across, and the most impressive part about this is, again, a guy right in his face. Bo Nix, if you're looking at it, he's already 10 yards deep, and he's giving ground here, running away from this guy, buying time, and he rips this thing from 15 yards deep from the line of scrimmage because he had a free rusher that didn't bite on that play action. And he's still able to throw this comeback and hit the guy right in the chest. So right here, this is a really impressive throw, giving ground, putting another probably 7-8 yards on this throw just based off of having to give ground. And he still hits that guy on the comeback, on the move. Really accurate ball right there, having to fade away from that unblocked defensive lineman. And you just see the frustration here by the corner because he knows that they had that covered. Just really good play there by Bo Nix on accuracy and just athleticism, being able to get the ball out like he did. Here's another really accurate throw, and you saw this play this past weekend from the Bucks. And right here, he's running right there, getting a little bit of a pick. They're running a wheel there. It's a one high look, obviously man-to-man. Bo Nix, he's feeling a little bit of pressure. They only rush 4, and they do a pretty good job picking it up. But right here, as you're watching Bo Nix, he's just giving a little bit of ground. And right there, once he settles off his back foot, lays this thing up, almost like throwing a fadeaway. And as a quarterback, whenever you give ground and throw the ball like that, a lot of times that kind of helps with your timing and your feel of dropping it into the bucket. And that's what happens right here. He knows it's tight coverage. Put this thing outside the numbers, let your guy adjust back late. And great adjustment there by the receiver as well. But this is great ball placement against tight coverage. High and away to the outside. Big play, great accuracy right there, again, by Bo Nix. Another pressure look here by Washington State. They're in empty, and they're bringing pressure here. They do drop underneath, so they're trying to stop these underneath routes. But still, this guy runs right through this guard who falls down. Looks like a pumpkin right here, just getting rolled. And so, free rusher in your face. You got a slot fade down here at the bottom. Bo Nix with a guy right in his face. Again, early time. If you're looking at when he throws this ball, it's out now. These are just 5-6 yards. He's just now getting even with the defender. Lays that thing outside the numbers. Again, doesn't have to be perfect football, but it needs to have great ball placement. That's what he has right here, high and away. Wide receiver adjusts to it, makes an easy throw and catch right there for an explosive play, toasting that zero coverage. This is just another look here of just dropping the ball in the bucket, and all it does is one jab step, and he settles, gets his feet underneath him, lays this thing up for his guy. He knows the space where the guy can win to. Really accurate ball up and over to the outside shoulder, so really good at throwing these slot fades. Great adjustment, but a really good ball placement where it's his guy or nobody on this 1st and 10 for a big touchdown. And right here you can see just how tight this coverage is whenever you get down there to the red zone goal line. Just up and over that shoulder, exactly where you want to place, where he can block out the defender with his body. So extremely accurate ball right there. And a lot of these are those intermediate throws that he's really good at. Now we're going to look at some of the more impressive plays as far as arm strength is concerned for Bo Nix. And right here on this one, you're getting a little bit of motion out wide. Ball gets snapped. Somewhat of a pressure look here by Oregon State. You got a free rusher here getting right into his face. And anytime you have a guy coming right there to your right side as a right-handed quarterback, you're really going to feel that. And great job, just a little subtle movement, moves about a yard back to buy enough time. And right here, he does a really good job of throwing, again, these intermediate throws where he's breaking to the middle of the field. You got an out route right here holding this underneath coverage and a dig right there in behind. And when this ball gets thrown, which is when it has to get thrown because he's getting this pressure, is right now. And he's not even cutting into that window. He's just ripping it through the window, letting his guy adjust to it. Great timing, really accurate ball. And right here, with a guy in your face, especially right there to your arm side, this is a great strong throw. Off balance a little bit. Rips it, hits him right in the chest. You have some accuracy, and you got to have a pretty strong arm to throw those basics back into the middle of the field like he does. Another look here, similar concept. Again, now you're getting an out here, you're getting a dig. And on this one, he's feeling this pressure coming from this backside. They do have it picked up, so not just a great job. He could stay in that pocket, but he's moving a little bit to his right, which is not the worst thing. But right there, he's just working because he knows this window is going to come open. To throw this back across his body with the pace that he does, just shows his core strength that he has. Puts it right on his body, allows him to stop, make a move. So again, accurate ball, great arm strength with a little bit of motion there to his right, getting away from that pressure and still able to put a lot on the ball right there without his feet set. There's another similar concept. This time you're getting an out right here and a dig. Red zone going there. Arizona State's in man-to-man. And on this one, again, just looking at this base, he's keeping that wide base. He steps up a little bit and he's able to rip this thing. This one is actual seed driving off his back foot. I thought this was a really good ball. It really shows just the strength that he can put on the ball. Rips that thing. That probably doesn't get any higher than about head height and hits the guy right in the chest with pretty decent coverage right there against man-to-man. Great strong throw, about 25, 30-yard intermediate route where he just absolutely sticks it right in the middle of that guy's chest. Here's another great look at just arm strength, and they're just running 4 verticals here against Washington. This corner sits a little bit, so it's a hole shot, but it's a little bit deeper. And right there, he's just putting basically a 2-ball. This is not one of those where he's having to rip it as hard as he can. He's just sitting there off his back foot, getting the feel, flips his hips, and puts enough pace on this ball to beat this safety with that corner underneath. Puts it right on the money. So a little bit of mixture of accuracy and arm strength right here for Bo Nix. Able to beat, again, a really good defense, really good secondary in a hostile environment there with a strong throw. This one right here was probably the most impressive play as far as arm strength. Going to the flats here, you're running a deep bang 8 and then one safety look. And Bo Nix, he knows as soon as this one safety kind of hangs a little bit, he knows he's about to drill this thing. 1, 2, 3, gets his feet in the ground, settles just a second, and he rips it right through this window here. And it doesn't even look like he's trying. Like it's not like he's overstriding. It's not like he's just driving this thing. He just flips his hips. And again, this thing doesn't get much higher than head height. He rips it through that window from the far hash to outside the hash to beat that safety that's rolling over. Just the arm strength and just right here, just flipping his wrist and his hips. And that thing is absolutely humming. Hits the dude right in the face where you want to hit him on those bang 8s. And that's probably the most impressive play as far as just arm strength that I saw all year. There's another view of it. Boom. As soon as he sticks, that window's pretty tight. You got the safety converging. That's about when that ball gets out. Sticks it right on his front side shoulder and his face mask. Great throw right there by Bo Nix. Another great look here. And you're just running a fade out. If you're talking to your quarterback about fade outs and you're running this out from the hash and you're lined on the right hash, this is going to be a real long throw. We got to be really strong to throw this. Absolutely rips it. And just the accuracy right there, that guy's trying to undercut it. Pretty good player as well, but right there just rips it. You see how tight that window is. It's about a foot window where the only place you can put it, and just the pace on this football. And you see right here, you can see he's really ripping that thing. He's getting to that front foot and transition really hard to the front foot, getting that core into it. That's a heck of a throw for about only 5-6 yards. But right there, red zone going out, you know he's going to get tight. But great throw. It shows his strength right there to get it out there on a fade out on the goal line. Right here on this one, you see there's a secondary out route, so just basically a flood. Boom, you see how that thing is ripped to him right here. So it's a really strong throw. Again, just flipping his hips. It's not just one of those things where he's just driving this thing hard. Boom, just flips his hips, throws that thing intermediate. Probably not the most accurate ball, but just seeing this thing spin out of his hands is really impressive. Great play here by the receiver, but the strength to throw that from the far hash on that intermediate out about 15 yards Really impressive. Stacking up here, and they run an intermediate out about 10 yards, and just seeing it in real time is really impressive. Just how that spins off his hand. Again, making it look easy. Just that compact motion, just rips it out there. Really impressive throw. Intermediate out from the far hash, outside the numbers. And just the accuracy and the speed on this throw is really impressive. So another great play here, showing his strength. Here it looks like a 3 vertical look here to the outside. These guys push it maybe a little bit deeper than you typically would. And on this, just throwing the ball from the far hash to outside the numbers. And again, just that pace that he's put on the ball. And right here, you're looking at balls like that hits the guy at the 30-yard line. He's throwing from the far 40. So this is 30 yards just vertically. And then you've got the entire field basically from the hash to outside the numbers horizontally. So that's a huge throw right there on that stop route where it can work back to it. So that is an extremely long throw. And just the accuracy and timing on that is really good. And, of course, there's just a little bit of space. And this is a good defense. This is Utah. This is not just a bunch of slapdicks or whatever. That's some pretty good football players out there. So rips that thing from the far hash. 30-plus yards vertically. A huge play. Huge arm strength right there to make that throw. You don't always have to push the ball really far down the field. But on this one, you're getting a post here with no safety help. Bo Nix, he just drops back, gives quite a bit of ground here on this one because they are getting a little bit of pressure, but he likes that post, so he lets that thing ride. He's throwing it from the opposite 45-yard line, and he lays that thing out there to his guy, and he catches the ball basically on the goal line. So that's 55 yards in the air off his back foot. Pretty accurate ball, maybe not perfect, but 55 yards off his back foot, that's good enough to do a lot of things at any level. Typically not just ripping that thing more than 50 yards down the field, and Bo Nix right here, off his back foot, able to rip it pretty easily, 55 yards, put it in a bucket. So we looked at accuracy, we looked at arm strength. Now we're just looking at overall athleticism. And on this play right here, getting a quarterback pull, and we can see just how athletic he is. Reading this defensive end, outside linebacker, or whatever, you're squeezing down, you're leading out here. And just this pull, whenever Bo Nix gets into space, is a lot more athletic than most people give him credit for. Pinning, now they're circling the defense. And he's absolutely rolling right here. He's outrunning some guys. He does obviously get some help. Great scheme here on this one. But just the athleticism to outrun that safety, get into the zone right there without getting hit. A lot more athletic than most people give him credit for. This play right here is actually insane. And right here you're seeing it, Bo Nix, he's looking, a little bit of pocket movement. He starts working up. You got a DN that starts working over the top. So he decides he's just going to duck down underneath, work through that between his offensive lineman and the defensive end, get upfield, and still make a play right there. And as you're looking at just how he throws his ball, this is all arm. Just rips it around, throws an accurate ball. Just seeing this man-to-man, having the awareness, hey, everybody's got their back turned. I'm going to give my guy a chance right here. This defensive play right here, this linebacker's not going to be able to make a play. After I ducked underneath a defensive end, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this all arm to one of my guys that's covered if you're just looking at it, but he's not looking at me. So give him an opportunity. He goes up, makes a play, the imagination to make that play. Here's a look in their bowl game, just tons of play action. Is taking way too much time right here, it seems like. But all they know is that, hey, I'm trying to buy time, really get the ball down the middle of the field. On this one, again, free D end. Puts his foot on the ground, almost falls down, puts a hand down, steps up, and he's still playing with a little bit of swagger right here. Throws this thing, looks like he's trying to throw a no-look pass. As their dude's converging, just tons of traffic right here, and he's still able to keep his eyes up, give it to the tight end right there in the middle of the field for a touchdown. And playing with a little swagger right here. A little bit of a no-look pass right there for a touchdown in the ball game. Really athletic play just to stay up and keep his eyes up and get the ball distributed to his guys is really impressive. Free rusher right here against Washington to his blind side. And Bo Nix, he starts to work that way, and then he reverses out and gets upfield, outruns his guy. And now he's in space. So right there, impressive play. Great job right here just feeling this pressure. Then he get reversed out and just gets that sideline. On this one, this is a 3rd and 13. So right here, he understands the down distance. He's still trying to push this thing down the field with his eyes up. Now he knows, hey, I got enough space. I think I can take this. And he gets going upfield. And again, just the athleticism. If you're looking at him, this guy was sitting pretty low, and they're not able to get there before he gets to 13 yards. He's running right there. And then obviously, again, just the awareness, how much football he's played. He knows where he needs to get to, puts that ball just past the sticks. Great athletic play right there against Washington in a huge game in a tough environment. And dude's out there balling, so right there, really good play. Another good look here, just a little bit of movement from Bo Nix. You're getting pressure up here over the top, which is what you typically want to see. Then he steps up and he starts working to his arm side. You got a crosser here, So he knows that's where he wants to go with the football. And now you got a D tackle. So he steps up to get away from this pressure. Now he's got to fade away from this D tackle that's getting there to him. He's athletic enough that he can run exactly horizontal, rip his shoulders around just enough, and you see just that little bit of torque right there, and rips this thing. This is a 20-yard throw against pretty good coverage. And right here, off balance, running away from the D tackle. Just absolutely seed. Really athletic right there with his shoulders and his core to make that throw, and how accurate it was really impressive. Now we're just going to look at some of the question marks, some of the things that Bo Nix didn't quite do well all the time, which obviously everybody's nitpicking right here whenever there's that much money involved in this first round, second round, whatever, wherever he ends up getting drafted. My issue right here on this one, they're running a fade, and we'll just show exactly where the ball placement is. It's a little bit behind. He has him beat right here. He doesn't have enough arm strength, or he can't get the rotation, or it slips out of his hands, whatever it is. Isn't able to put this thing out here. This is a pretty big moment. Should have a touchdown right here, and he underthrows this. They do get a PI, but right there, really inaccurate ball. Could lay that thing out there a little bit sooner. Right there, he's late with the throw, and he's not able to push his ball down the field. What I would talk with the quarterback right here on this one is, I can't make this throw either. From the far hash all the way out here, I've either got to get a quicker drop and get this thing out quicker, or a lot better arm strength right here to push this thing down there if I'm taking a big three, which is 1, 2, 3 with a hitch. That's a big three. Know your receiver and know who you are. On this one, I'd probably just take a jab and a gather, get this thing out maybe a second sooner, so now that thing doesn't have to push down the field that far. So right here, I think the timing's off on this one, and then the accuracy. If you can push that thing down here, it's going to be a touchdown. So a little bit behind. I think the timing's off there as well, which makes it a little bit tough to be able to place this ball where your guy can run underneath it. Here's another look, just seeing a one-on-one up top, so they're just throwing a fade. The timing of this is fine, but the placement is not quite there. And again, it's just an RPO, pre-snap RPO. He likes it, so all he does is he jabs and he gathers, and he's looking to throw the ball out there. And on this one, you see, he places this thing a little bit too far to the inside. Wide receiver's trying to go up, but it's really a 50-50 ball right now. So the ball should be placed out here instead of directly on him, about his face mask. Put this thing higher in a way. You don't have to make this perfect, especially in the red zone goal line. Bo Nix is really good throwing these balls. Put this thing high in a way. Let your guy adjust. Let him box this defender out. Right here, a little bit inaccurate with that throw. I mean, that's one of those things. He's off by 2 or 3 feet, and that's the difference in a touchdown and a guy knocking it down, especially in the NFL with the best players in the world. I know we saw some that weren't as accurate, and this one I think is pretty good. Just giving your guy an opportunity. You don't have to push this thing way down the field, especially whenever you have really good receivers on the outside. And this ball placement, he hasn't beat. You either need to put this thing perfectly downfield where he can run underneath it, or you need to put it outside the numbers. Let your guy adjust to it late, and that's what happens on this one. A lot better ball placement on this, on that fade, than the past 2 plays, which obviously he knows where he wants to put the ball. Just the accuracy and timing is not always there like the past couple plays that we saw. This is a lot better throw and catch here by Bo Nix. Here's a play where Bo Nix is getting through a heck of a progression. You got to slant out here. You got a guy coming across. You got to dig, and then this guy's the one they're trying to get to. But on this one, it's not able to get it up and over this defensive lineman, which I know this is really hard to see and really hard to always get it around. But right here, it seemed like Bo Nix did get some balls knocked down. Got to work on just basically finding windows, and of course, that's really hard to do. He's trying to go up and over. You might have to slide just a little bit and try to go around that as opposed to up and over. That's just something that you have to continue to work with your feel every single day whenever you're getting reps. So right there, he did have some balls get knocked down, especially in big moments like right here. This is a 2-point conversion. Anytime there's a play for points, you got to be really good at what you do. I know this is hard to nitpick, but whenever you're looking for the best players in the world, don't want to get those balls knocked down. Whenever you're able to get a guy with that much space for points is really big. And right there, he gets the ball knocked down by a D tackle, just getting his hands up. We're going to look here, and it's 3rd and goal. So right here, red zone goal line accuracy. You're getting some motion. I know he's looking for these meshes and all that. Really probably never thrown this ball to that guy. And right here, he's off balance. That guy's open. If he gives it to him, he's got a chance to score. And on this one, he just bounces it to him. So right here, inaccuracy on this where he's getting off balance and off schedule. Got to be able to make this throw every single time. Put that on his face mask where now he's got a chance to make that guy miss and get you points on a 3rd and goal right before half. And right there, you're seeing about 10 seconds before half. This is a huge play. And he just can't give it to him. Can't just put it right on his face mask like he typically would. Anytime you got a chance to score, you got to hit him right in the face mask. But right there, inaccurate ball, they're in a big moment. Got this play on here, and it a little bit shows his arm strength, but then it also kind of shows something that you might have a little bit of trouble with. For whatever reason, you got a double read, you got a slant here, you got 4 receivers down here. You could throw this screen, and Bo Nix, he just steps up, and it's almost like he's running at the receiver. There's really no reason to do any of this. You just need to sit back and really drill this thing off your back foot. But right here, his eyes and his feet aren't quite mirrored up. There's kind of a weird, funky throw right there on that slant. Still gets a touchdown against Colorado, but really just want to be a little bit more patient with our feet. I know there's probably a chance for him to run a draw here as well, but it does show good arm strength and good accuracy. But need to make sure to be consistent, have our eyes on our feet work a little bit better than they do right here on this play. Another question a lot of people would probably have is just under center stuff. Probably hadn't seen a ton of it from when he was at Auburn and when he was at Oregon, but right here is a look at just running this weak flood. You got a post, you got a dig coming across right here, and a play action 7-step drop. He looks pretty comfortable. He just rips that thing out there, puts it right on his body on that guy crossing. So right there, he does have some film right there where he is getting under center and giving drops and play action. That's what he does right here on this one. Pretty solid play action look. And then he looks really comfortable back there and rips that thing on that crosser for a big play. So as far as grades for Bo Nix, and of course we're going to do this so that we can compare different quarterbacks. For his accuracy, I'm going to give him a B+. Now, of course, there were some issues there where he was getting off balance. Wasn't great all the time with fades, but he did have some really good balls, slot fades, and ball placement on just normal fades. But I'm going to give Bo Nix a B+, 70% completion the past couple years at Oregon. So really accurate. B+ is a good rating. Now just to grade his arm strength, I'm going to give him a B+ as well. It's not an A arm. He's not pushing this thing 70, 80 yards down the field, which you don't have to do that very often. But he can push it 55, 60 yards and be accurate. So B+ for arm strength there for Bo Nix. Athleticism, I think he's a little bit more athletic than most people give him credit for. I'm going to give him just a B. He's not back there like Kyler Murray and just going to outrun everybody, but he's athletic enough to make plays like on that 3rd and 13 against Washington. He can make things happen. And of course, the pocket movement and just how strong his core is, being able to throw things off balance, really impressive as well. The awareness by Bo Nix. He's played a lot of football. I mean, this was his 5th year starting. Had been at Auburn for 3. Was at Oregon for 2. And just awareness. Whenever he ducked between that defender and his guy and then still kept his eyes up and made a play, was really impressive. I'm going to have to give him an A on awareness. I think he's seen a lot. And I think he's a heck of a ball player. And he's just one of those dudes that makes plays when he's out there. Next thing to think about is just intangibles. Who is this dude? Is he a leader? What's his deal? And to me, he seems like a heck of a competitor. He's a guy that leads. Again, he's been the leader of a team for 5 years at a high level. His dad's a coach at a really high level of high school football in Alabama at Phoenix City. So he's got a lot going for him as far as intangibles. He's got a lot of just swagger about him. Whenever he steps out on the field, you want him on your team. Every time he steps out there, he gives you a chance to win. So I'm going to give him an A as far as intangibles as well. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is just kind of his comp. Like, what is the comp for Bo Nix? Who's comparable? What does he remind me of? And number one thing that comes to mind every single time I see him is that's Baker Mayfield. It looks just like Baker Mayfield, running around, a little bit more athletic than you think, really accurate, has played a ton of football. Just has a little swagger about him that everybody likes and wants that guy to be on their team, and just the toughness to make things happen. Now, has Baker had just an unbelievable career in the NFL? Not really. He's won 2 playoff games. He won a playoff game with the Browns. And, of course, they just act like he's chopped liver and throw him away. But now he goes to Tampa just based off his toughness and the way that he can get a team to rally, led him to the playoffs and a playoff win. So, overall grade, what I'd give Bo Nix is a B+. And as far as where I think he'd be in the draft, we'll kind of slot that after we get more of the quarterbacks looked at it a little bit more in depth. I'd say he's probably late 1st, early 2nd round. If he goes to a system like Baker Mayfield did this year with Tampa or early with the Browns, I think he's going to have a lot of success. Team's got to obviously tailor it around him. He's not going to be able to do every single thing, but he's athletic enough, smart enough, tough enough. He can make a team a lot better stepping out there playing quarterback in the NFL. So really like Bo Nix. I hope you guys are getting something out of these videos. And we're going to do all the quarterbacks, probably top 5, 6 quarterbacks in the NFL draft this year, and looking in depth at some of the different things they do. So subscribe so you can see when we put those videos out. But appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys again in the next video.